crafty friends and creators from around the globe. Welcome to Hither and Yon Studio. DJ here in the studio today. Welcome, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. We are working in the big book of junk journal ideas today. I have a couple of things to show you. And before I get started, I just wanted to answer a couple of questions that people had about the big book of junk journal ideas. The first one and the main one I get all the time is, do I have a video on how I made this big junk journal of ideas? And yes, I do. And it's on the same playlist as this video. It's called the Big Book of Junk Journal Ideas. Go figure. And it's the very first video where I made this actual journal that all these goodies are in. So you could go and find that in the playlist. They're in date order, but they're also usually one on top of the other. So just look for the first video, and that's where I made this. There's not a lot of videos in this playlist right now, so you can go check it out. The second one I get a lot is, will I do a flip through of the Big Book of Junk Journal Ideas? Absolutely. I'm very happy to do a flip through, but I'm going to wait till it's full. And then I can do a flip through of what's inside. So for now, I have a lot of room left in here and I'm going to hold off. But as soon as it's full, I definitely will do a flip through for you guys. And if I feel like one is justified sooner, I'll do that as well. But what else? Oh, just a little housekeeping thing. If you think you're subscribed, maybe want to check, because people who were subscribed say they're now unsubscribed. So I always try to mention this. Go ahead and check and see if you want to be subscribed, that you are subscribed. And if you want to receive notifications, go ahead and hit the bell and hit all. And then you'll receive notifications when I release a video. But go ahead and check, because a lot of people said they were subscribed and now they're not. So I just always have people check, because a lot of creators here on YouTube are kind of experiencing that same problem. So that's it. That's the housekeeping. That's the questions. Let's get into it. All right, so this is what we're making today. It is a piece that attaches. This one attaches because it's a pocket on one side. So what it is it's a piece that flips open like this, and you have pockets, but again, you could do side tucks if you wanted instead of pockets. It's pretty versatile that way. And it flips closed, and then it opens this way so that it actually flips out. Okay, so it doesn't take up any room on this page. This whole page you could journal on or decorate or do whatever you want. And then this page folds close and covers over top of that. You could turn this into journaling space. You could do some extra decorating on here. You could put extra pockets on here. Like I said, it's pretty versatile. And then this side, like I said, is pockets. And then it wraps around the page and it glues down on three sides to become a pocket. And I put a little window in here so you can see what's on your tag in there. And I just made, this is a laminate. I laminated a dried flower in between two pieces of laminate. And then I slid that in here so you could kind of see it through the window. And then I just stamped on it, put a little word, and did some additional stamping here. So this is what we're gonna make today. And yeah, and then one more. We'll see how we get on. But this is pretty easy and it is versatile. So I'm just gonna show you a couple of ways to do it, and then you decide what you want. This is a letter size page that I'm gonna use for this. You could use any size so long as it is longer than it is tall. And let's see, I have another one here. So this one is longer than it is tall, so we could also use this one. I'm going to use this one to demonstrate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip this over, and I'm going to fold up the bottom on to one side. So it's kind of cool if you have two-sided paper, but if you don't mind the white and you have one-sided, that's fine too. And then you can make this any size you want. So you can make a really small pocket, you can make a tall pocket, it's up to you. But I'm gonna go about here, and I don't know what that measurement is. Let me just show you. I have to cut my edges off. So this is about 8 1/8 by 10 5/8 because I always have to cut those white borders off, but it started 8.5 by 11. And then I'm folding it up, and I'm folding it up about 2.5. It's like 2 5/8. But again, like I said, you can do this any way that you want. All right, so once you have that, that's your pockets. Now the next thing you want to decide is how much do you want to flip around the other page, and then how much do you want to kind of fold this way. So, you know, I just eyeball it. This is the side that is going to flip around the page, so I'm gonna do about there. Okay, and it is about 3.5. And then what you have left, you just kind of fold over until one edge meets the other edge. And now if you want to divide your paper in 3 and do all the measuring, go for it. I prefer not to do all that work, and I get the same results, so to speak. All right, so now what we're left with is this. We have this, and then we have this piece that folds over and this piece that wraps around. But remember, in the one I showed you, we didn't have this pocket here. So we're gonna take that off. I'm going to just grab my scissors and just gonna make sure I can see this line pretty good. Just put a little ink on there because I ink anything, everything anyway. And then I'm just gonna cut up, and I'm gonna cut a little in so that the pocket on this side is, I'm just like a little inside the line here. And that's just preference. If you want to cut right on the line, that's up to you. And then I'm going to cut this piece off. Okay. And could you leave it? Yeah, you could actually leave it. If you want your piece to wrap around and be a tuck with a pocket, then just leave it. You don't need to cut it off. But I don't want it there, so I'm going to remove mine. And that's why this, like I said, can be a pretty versatile piece. And this one I'm going to try to cut right on the line. Okay, like so. And then because I'm going to have that window on there, I'm just going to take my, this one is, I don't know what size this is. Hold on. 2-inch. This is my 2-inch punch. And I'm just gonna come in here and use whatever punch you have. This is what I have, and this is what I was using, so I just made a little peekaboo hole. Do you need to make the peekaboo hole? No, you don't. But I did, and you can too. All right, and then my other punch is just to make my little notch, because this is gonna be like a side pocket. Okay, I get a lot of questions about this too, where they get this nifty little punch. Well, it came with this punch board, or this scoreboard, and I wanted the scoreboard because it was smaller, and this came with it, and I was like, oh, I'm not sure what that is, whatever. I was really looking for this, but then I came to realize this is actually an envelope making set that is a version of this same one, except it's more simplistic. And this punch, this little handy punch, is the same punch that is on my bigger punch board. So we are memory keepers, and this is the big one that I have, and I think there's an even bigger one, but this, I didn't even know what it was, and so that's what it is. And this piece actually cuts the notches in your envelope, and this side rounds your corners, so that's what that is. Okay, so that's that. And now for this, what I like to do when I have pockets like this in the center there, depending on the thickness of my paper, this is cardstock, so it's a little thicker. I like to just kind of cut in a little on this edge here. So like very thin up the center, just to take away some of that bulk so that they don't press against each other when it's folded in half. But it's very, very thin, and I go from the bottom up to the corner where that fold meets, kind of on an angle. It's hard to tell, but as you can see, I'm taking off a teeny tiny sliver in there. I can actually right? And then what that does is it just releases some of that bulk so that it folds a little easier, a little flatter anyway, in my humble opinion. Okay, and then I like to round my corners, so I go around and just kind of go around the corners. Like so. This gets a little tougher because it's a little thicker. Sometimes it doesn't like it. Let's see if this one will. Yeah, that one's a little better. And then here, I can use this one again. And here. All right, so that's just my preference. Maybe you don't like it that way, but, and then we just glue it up. Let me just ink this up quick because I am going to use this in a journal. So I do want to kind of just ink this up a bit. And actually, let me also punch out these pockets because they're pockets. You can use your circle punch too, if that's all you have, or you don't even have to punch, right? You don't have to. There's no pocket punch police as far as I know. So you can do whatever you want. I'm just gonna do a little inking, you know. I'll be right back with you guys right after I'm done. All right, we're all inked up, and now I'm just gonna glue up, right? Because these are pockets, but again, if you cut these off, you could use them even as upper tucks, I suppose. I don't always feel so confident with those because I'm afraid stuff's gonna fall out of them, especially on flips. But hey, you do what you do, you. All right, and this side here. And I can see my printer needs an alignment because I can see these lines. It was also running out of ink, so that doesn't help. All right, so that's our flip. And then this is the piece that's going to wrap around. And if you want, you could put a piece of, you know, packaging or acetate or something back here if you choose to. You don't have to. You could also wrap this around a page and then stamp through it so you could see something if you don't want to, you know, or maybe just have your tag cover it with one other picture, and then when you pull it out, you have another picture behind it. That's fun, right? And then you can just stamp on it. I just stamped some flowers. So, or we can put an embellishment. How about we do that? I have these flower fussy cuts that seem to match this theme. So I could just use one of these, right? It's kind of got these pinks, not all the way punched out. Got one down here. I cut these out on the silhouette. So I could do something like that. Yeah, I like that. Let me just add a little grunginess to the outsides. That little bud is hanging on by a thread. But yeah, anything you got. You could just stamp it like I did on the one that I showed you in the beginning here. So that can go on there like that, right? And then I can get a word, put a fun word, or if you have like a cool label that you want to use, go ahead and do that. Let's do something like that. So that's really pretty. So that's the side that's going to wrap around. And then you can put a word on there. I had these out, so we'll just use lovely. How about lovely? Guys, these are my everyday words. They're in my Ko-Fi shop. The link is below in the description if you're interested. It's pay what you want. And it's words you could use in a lot of different journals. I call them everyday words because they have a lot of different purposes. There's different seasons, there's different words that you could use, you know, in a lot of different places. And so I got that. And then I know I have a piece of black, so I think I want to put that behind it. Just gotta find the scrap. Here it is. Right, just so it pops a little more because it's a lot of matchy. But any color would work. If you have some pink cardstock, that would be pretty too, given the theme. You know, you could go shabby chic. I like the black. It seems to always fit for me. See, like that. I like it. So we'll put that. And I'm not going to attach this to the journal yet because I'm going to use this in a different journal. But you would put your tags in there, and then you could embellish. We could put just some plain paper on one side if you wanted to, like to kind of do a little journaling space there. You could do something like that. And if you wanted to kind of sew around it to make it a little more fun and grungy, that would be fun. But I have some stamps that look like stitching that I got on Temu, and I am going to see if I can find them again, and then I'll put them below. But let me grab one of those. So they have a couple of different ones. I know that's probably blinding you, but okay, this might be better. Maybe not, I don't know. So some are really wonky kind of stitching, and maybe this would be better. No, not really. Some are kind of wonky stitching, and some are kind of, you know, regular uniform stitching, but they're stamps, right? So they look pretty cool. And so I'm just gonna take this one and some black ink. Let me use my StazOn. And I'll get a stamp pad, and we'll do some faux stitching. Just need a book, something to stamp on. I had a book page out here. I don't know where that went. Let's see if it's under here. Oh, let me get another one. Okay, and then I can just put this on here, and we can stamp it. And the stamp's a little longer, so it'll kind of look cool. And then you don't have to stitch, but it looks like you did. Sorta. Didn't stamp the best, but you get the idea. Yeah, it's not too bad, but it kind of looks like a stitch there now. If you don't have a machine, or you don't like to use a machine, or whatever the case may be. And then I'm just gonna glue this one down with my Oohoo stick. So you get a little journaling space here, and if you wanted, you could just certainly make this into a tuck instead with some journaling space on top. And then here I had this other piece that I didn't use on the flip, right? So I could use this here. Why not? I could have another pocket on this side. So it's a little different than the one we did earlier, but you can see it's pretty versatile, and you can kind of make it anything you want it to be. So let's do that, and then we'll make it an official pocket. And we'll just ink this up quick. And then easy peasy, this will be mostly done. I can put it in my stash anyway. And then I can add some additional decorating when I put it in the journal. But at least 90% of it's done. So we did that one pretty quick. You could do a bunch of those in a mass make if you wanted to. And if you use the smaller paper, you just get a smaller one, right? So you just fold up. Same process. Okay, you're just, and I like to open it when I'm folding it the other way. You just kind of figure in the same situation, you know, what you want to flip over, and then what you want to be your flaps. And these are different sizes, but that's okay. That's okay. And then we cut this piece off, or at least I did, but you can keep it. Up to you, totally up to you. Yeah. Can't see that line so good. All right, there we go. Now I can see it perfectly. Perfect. So this one you know, the inking and the decorating is what takes your time. And then again, I'm just going to take that sliver off this little piece here. So it's removing that bit of bulk. You know what it is, these bigger scissors aren't really the best tool for this, so. But there we go. And then those will fold up and this will flap over. And this one's a little smaller, so I wouldn't use like my 2-inch punch. I might use something different, or maybe decide not to punch it at all. It's completely up to you. I'll keep this piece with it, but then that's it. That's the make for that one. All right, so let's put, I have one in my junk journal ideas book already. So this one I'm just gonna put to the side. And I wanna show you something else I thought about while I was making that. I have a lot of that tag while I was making the tag. Finish your sentences. Finish your sentences. Okay. While I was making those laminated tags and putting that tag in, I had the tags done, but while I was putting it in there, I thought of something else. And so I wanted to share that with you because you might want to get a laminator if you don't have one, or you might want to laminate some stuff, which that was fun. I just got to kind of decide what I was laminating. Okay, so I had all these dried flowers. I just tried a bunch of them. I tried feathers and dried flowers. So these were from my garden, actually. And let's see, what else? I know I have double-sided butterflies that I have. And then I have some feathers that I just found outside. So there's a blue jay feather, and I'm not sure about that one, but I found them on the ground and I just laminated them up. But so this one, you see how I stitched this tab on for what I was putting in here? So you can stitch to these. And what I thought would be fun is if we tried to take one of these, and it would be cool to attach a piece of paper, then you could glue it down in your journal anywhere. How cool is that, right? And this is a quick one. So I have this book page piece right here. Why not use that, right? That just adds a little more grungy. I'm going to, oh, these corners are all rounded. I don't have to do anything. I can round these, and this piece is the perfect height. So what I'm gonna do is round this one and this one. Okay, and that's the piece I'm gonna sew on. And then this piece I can glue down into my journal. So let me fold this where I think it would make sense. And we will just ink it up, right? Because we have to ink it. I hope my sound's a little better today. I'm working on my audio. I have a wireless mic, and I'm hoping the sound is coming through a little better because I am down here, and somebody asked me if I was in an airplane in the comments on YouTube. Ha ha ha, very funny. No, obviously I'm not doing this on an airplane. But I get it. The sound in the background is a little much at times. So I'm working on my audio, and let me know if this audio is a little better. All right, so you get the idea. I just want to finish because it's going to be sewn down and I can't really pick it back up then. So some yummy grunginess. All right, that I can do after it's sewn. So, all right, let me go sew it. I'll be right back. Oh, before I do that, I'm just going to take this, and I'm just going to put a teeny tiny bit, actually I'll do it on the side, just to hold it in place. If you feel comfortable just kind of holding it on the machine, that's fine. But I just like it not to be moving, so I'm kind of gonna come out a little bit, just so it doesn't shift around. Okay, so it's sewn onto this, and you can see it on this side too. Let me just cut this quick. Oh, that's the wrong book. And let's find another page, a different page that is blank, like here. And then you see we can just glue this piece down and have this flip. And then you could even do it as a tuck. Let's see, I think I wanted it this way actually. That is, so it would sit in the book. That's what I wanted. And so I can glue this as a tuck because it would work, but let me finish that inking now that I didn't do. All right, and we'll just, because you're gluing paper and not the acetate or the laminated pages, it will stick like any other piece of paper, right? Be a cool little tuck there. So you just figure where you want it, make sure it's indoors, inside the lines when you close your book. And then you can add a little decoration here. If you don't want to see the stitching on this side, you could put a piece of washi or another piece of paper. But I just got to hold that back down because it wants to keep coming up. Yeah, and then we have a fun little tuck here where we could tuck something. So why not tuck that? And that's it, guys. That's our big book of everything projects today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you'll give it a thumbs up. If you did, share it with all your friends. Share it in every Facebook group you're in, because as long as the rules allow, it would be nice to have it spread around. Yeah, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. And I hope I'll see you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day or night. Bye.